Good morning, Chairperson.
Good morning.
I don't know. You are very much fine now.
Yeah, I'm better. Thank you. I'm okay.
Madam, we can't hear you. Can you?
Myself?
Okay, yes, ma'am. I can hear you now.
Okay. Can we start?
Yes, we can, please. We have about 80, about 85 participants already, so we can start, please.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Welcome you to this webinar training by Women Association of Quantity Surveyors in Nigeria, waxing. We really appreciate all the people that have identified with us. We appreciate your candid identification and your support. So we have the Eqs software training, and this is the first diet, which is the substructure. And what are the training objectives? Is number one, apply the Eqs software to automate taking off. Because I'm sure we all know that taking off is a tedious thing, and it is part of the QS profession. We don't have where to push it. So if we get something that will help us to make it more lively and more easy to do, I'm sure we all appreciate it, and that is why we are here. So that is part of the objective. The second objective is to use EQS software for preparing bill of quantities for building works, and also to use it, the software, for material estimating, because you know some of our clients will always want you to do bill of quantity and they want you to give them the material estimate by doing maybe the working by direct labor. And the training outcome that we expect is that after this 3 weeks of learning, we'll be able to understand how the software automatically do takeoff process and how to apply it to our works, and also to prepare bill of quantities and to prepare material schedule using the software. So that is the training, the outcome that we are expecting. And I want to join all of us to please pay attention and let's be attentive. If you still have one or two issues after the training, the WhatsApp group will be open immediately after each session so that we can ask questions there, or you go directly to any of our facilitators to ask if there is anything that you want. And there is a question and answer on the panel. Please, we are not going to unmute anybody. If you have any question, please put it on the question and answer. And by the end of the training, by end of the facilitators talk, we will look through it and answer anyone that we can live. Anyone that we cannot answer live, we will definitely answer it on the WhatsApp group. QS Stanley will make sure that he looks through it, and now we extract anyone that we can quickly answer live, because we need to keep to time. 10 to 12 is our time. So without wasting much of our time, we are going to move on. We have the opening speech by our waxing chairperson, QS Aisha Mohammed. So QS Aisha, please, your opening speech.
Thank you, moderator. Good morning, Mr. President, even though I know it's not there, NEC members and my professional colleagues. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the Women Association of Quantity Surveyors in Nigeria's second webinar on EQS software. After the first webinar in May 2020, Waxing saw the need to have capacity building on software for all interested quantity surveyors, hence this EQS software training. Our target was to have 50 participants for the training, but to the glory of God Almighty, we have 207 participants. Because of the zeal put in by members towards this training, I have no doubt that we will use the knowledge acquired for the benefit of improving ourselves and our organizations. For better understanding, this training is divided into two modules. Module 1 covers substructure, while Module 2 covers superstructure. Module 2 comes up in the middle of September 2020. We are extremely pleased to have the Bon Maximus companies as our facilitators. With their wealth of experience in software training, I know they will give us their very best. I want to thank the president of NIQS and the NEC members for their support and encouragement. To our participants, we say a big thank you for identifying with Waxing. We treasure you, for you are our strength. May I use this opportunity to thank the Young Quantity Surveyors Forum for sponsoring 35 of their female members for this training. You are most appreciated. To my executive committee members and the webinar planning committee, you are without doubt the biggest asset I have. Thank you for your time, efforts, and contributions towards organizing this training. May God continue to give us wisdom and knowledge to move our noble profession to greater heights. Thank you all. I wish you a very successful training course. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chairperson Waxing, US Aisha Mohammed. We'll go straight to the start of the training. But first, I have to introduce our two facilitators, Dr. Samuel Ofide, FNIQS, and Mr. Stanley. Mr. Ofide is the quantity surveyor. He attended St. Matthew's Primary School, Patani in Delta State, where he obtained his first living certificate, coming out top of the class in his exam. He passed out from ASB Trade School, which were WAEC DCO level and City and Guilds in London with good grades. And thereafter, he proceeded to the Federal Polytechnic Auchi in Edo State, where he studied quantity surveying. And upon that, he registered by correspondence with University of Reading, College of Estate Management, and in the United Kingdom, and took courses that will qualify him for corporate membership of the British Institute of Quantity Surveyors, IQS. And in 1982, he wrote the TPC exam for the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors and passed at first attempt. He enrolled for MBA degree in management in the University of Calabar in 2001, and which he concluded with a PhD in development economics with St. Andrew University College, California. And this was done 2006. Dr. Samuel Ofide is the principal consultant of this Discrete Consult Limited, a private consulting firm based in Abuja. He is into quantity surveying, management, consultancy, and software development. Dr. Ofide is a corporate member of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors and is a fellow of the Institute, also a registered member of QSRBN, and he has 25 years experience, over 25 years of experience, which were in executive management position in diverse organizations like Woodnell and Trollo, Nigeria, which later become Tiered and Partners. Wow, that's very interesting. Dr. Ofide was a member of the Professional Development Committee of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyor 2011 to 2013, and he has served consistently as member of the Scientific Committee of NIQS Annual Research Conference from 2013 to 2019. Dr. Ofide played a key role in development of the NIQS course data bank software. His company, Discrete Console Limited, is the developer of QMate Plus and estimating software. He is a construction industry resource person who has authored a number of papers on construction-related topics. Dr. Ofide is a strong advocate for digitalization of quantity surveying function, and we are really happy to have him as one of our facilitators so that we can glean from his wealth of experience. I'll also go and quickly introduce Stanley. I'm sure he's no stranger to waxing. It was part of a webinar we did post-COVID and the use of digital and technology for the quantity surveying profession, where we had in May. Is a first-class graduate of Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University 2017 in quantity surveying, and he did his master's in project management. He has attended several professional training and seminars organized by local and foreign bodies, with short management courses in human resources at Pan Atlantic University in Lagos. His working experience has spanned over years, and which culminates in him being focused on software development career under Maximus Companies, which he founded. So he has also worked as project supervisor for different companies in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, in the United Arab Emirates to be precise. But Maximus Companies is the developer of EQS2 software. The software automates taking up, process, and generate bill of quantities, amongst other things, and material estimating for material schedule. The company also developed e-procurement system to handle government procurement activities. Stanley is a quantity surveyor, is a software trainer, and he joined forces with Dr. Ofide this morning to glean into his own experience as a software developer and trainer. He has done training for different bodies of NIQS. So we are glad to have Dr. Ofide and Mr. Stanley John Ndubisi with us. Thank you so very much. Stanley and Dr. please. Mr. Stanley. Like I said earlier on, is any question, there is a question and answer, is a webinar setting. Please put your question in the question and answer. I'll look at it intermittently to get whatever question that we will put there. I welcome everybody, and I hope that whatever issues that we have with downloading of the software has been resolved, and we will be able to participate fully. Thank you. Mr. Stanley or Dr. Ofide, please. Stanley.
Where has Stanley gone to now?
Or even doctor. Doctor is supposed to start.
Yes, doctor is supposed to start. What is happening?
Yes, that was Stanley said. Where is
network.
What's NIQS? Stanley Sue, exactly.
It's like something is happening to their side in that, because I'm not seeing anyone.
You are now the host, Steph. You are now the host. So something happened to their network apparently.
We are not seeing any one of them at all.
Okay, they are back now.
Okay.
So Salisu, doctor, or then Stanley can start, please. Yeah, Stanley, please unmute and start, please. Or doctor.
Stanley on mute.
Okay.
We can start now. Or if it's doctor that is starting, please let him start.
Is supposed to deliver a speech first. Yes. Hello.
Hi.
I can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Yes. Has the chairperson delivered her speech?
Yes, she has finished, and I've introduced the two of you. So, doctor or Stanley should please start the introduction for the software and all that.
Oh, okay. You are welcome to this webinar. We are sorry for hitches we're experiencing, but from tomorrow it will not be the same. So, I want to give a background to what we are experiencing today. Sometime in 2015, during the tenure of late Dr. Ejike as the Secretary of Professional Development, they were planning the seminar for a workshop, national workshop in Kano, and the team was an entrepreneur. Now, I went through the topics that were to be delivered, and I felt, this is a technology era. Why not introduce something relating to digitization of QS functions? And he keyed into it. So I presented a paper, at that workshop. Some other people presented papers too. I remember somebody, a QS from Kano, presented something on the Excel. But the general, understanding that time was that, yes, Excel is good, but Excel can't, perform some of the functions that softwares, perform. And so at the end of late Dr. Ejike's tenure, QS Debo came in, and they were, organizing this Port Harcourt workshop stroke annual general meeting. Then we brought in BIM in the program. Then thereafter, at national and state levels, we have had workshops relating to technology and the digitization of QS functions. So this webinar today is a sort of fallout from all these things I mentioned, all these occasions I mentioned. And I want to congratulate the Waxen National Chairperson, QS Aishetu Mohammed, MNIQS, the Waxen Executive Committee members, and the webinar organizing committee for courage and foresight in organizing this webinar. Technology is taking over, a lot of industries. A while ago, a few days ago, I visited the bank to carry out a transaction, and I was surprised that all the workers at the counter, were women. So I said, where are the men? So to me, it appears that one day, if waxing continues like this, they may take over the QS profession, like the accountants and bankers. So I want to encourage you to continue what you are doing. the men were washing, but before they knew it, women had taken a lot of taken over a lot of functions in the accounting and banking profession. Also the teaching profession, women are there. I remember the pioneer workshop we organized for waxing, some waxing members. I also, talked about this challenge. Please, keep it up. And one day, you'll find out that you'll be all over the place. I met one of your members who was attending at Shura class, project management class. The other day, she was telling me that, they made her the head of the project management office in her office. And I was really very, very, impressed. So if we continue like this, one day, the women quantity surveyors will take over. So this is a challenge, to the men. So I also want to thank the president of NIQS, QS Abato, FNIQS, for approving the webinar. Because if he had not approved, I don't think this webinar will be holding. So I want to profusely thank him for the approval, and also his keen interest in promoting digitization of quantity surveying functions. He has been all over the place, trying to ensure that this digitization is realized in the QS profession. So I also want to congratulate the participants for making time to attend this webinar. You will live to remember, what you have done today. So please let us be all attentive to everything we are going to learn today. Now, talking about, can we scroll? Excuse me, I want to scroll. 1 minute. This. Okay. Now, as you can see on the screen, EQS2 is developed to enhance proficiency of quantity surveyors and estimators with technology, thereby reducing professional stress and errors and increasing work speed. What do we mean by this? Now, I want to say that EQS2 is an international software. Why do I say it is an international software? It has all the attributes of an international software. If you were to purchase like some of these foreign softwares, yes, you are not in countries where they were developed, like Corsairs, from Australia. You may not go to Australia to install the software. You just get the license and it's installed for you. So EQS2 is the same. That is what we're enjoying today. You are in the comfort of your home and the software has been installed for you. So these are some of the things that technology is doing. Then sometime in November last year, our brother and colleague, Mr. Stanley, was invited to come to Dubai, all expenses paid, just because somebody spotted EQS2 online and he was interested. So, like I used to say, Nigeria is not transferring technology instead of importing technology, and it will continue. So, what do we mean by reducing professional stress and errors? Now, you will observe that, like I said earlier on, if you want to, Excel is good, but if you want to use Excel compared to this EQS2 is 1/10, like you see in the next slide, of the time it will take. EQS2 makes it a lot faster. Now, I want to also say that, and without errors, there are human errors and there are, machine errors. If you, like Excel, you do summation and things like that, apply formula. If you apply the wrong formula, your result will be wrong. But for EQS2, everything has been done, by the programmer who developed the software, and there are little or no errors. Then the work speed we talked about. Then also talking about professional softwares. We have gone beyond a situation whereby architect will say, oh, I can't give you my AutoCAD drawing. I can only give you PDF drawing. If an architect gives you a PDF drawing from some of these softwares, you can easily, so you can bluff him. You can use your software to generate, whatever it is from the PDF. Even if he doesn't give you PDF, if he gives you, let's say, pictures, from the pictures you can even do your estimating. So I want to challenge us to, yes, this is like the foundation. Why do I say the foundation? Because a lot of the other softwares, you will need this. If you are talking about a BIM software, BIM environment, if you want to extract quantities, you need what you have learned here to be able to extract quantities from a BIM environment. Because from this software you're able to generate material schedule and so on. That is a part of what a BIM software does. Then talking about measuring areas and so on, softwares like Plan Suite, you can easily do this, and that software is such that when you measure areas, you can separate areas with colors and so on. So what I am saying is that I'm challenging participants. Don't stop at this. Yeah, this is the first leg of it, substructure. Please try to participate when you want to do the superstructure training. Then at the end of this training on Eqs 2 software, go into other softwares, Plan Suite, Cortex, and softwares like that. So lastly, I want to advise participants. The first advice is this: endeavor to attend all the training sessions. Don't assume. Some people will say, the software has been installed, in my system, so I want to train myself. It's not so easy to train oneself. Even at times when you see a software, online, you want to do it yourself. It's not easy. That is why, some of these softwares, they allow for, software support. Now that software support, you are doing it online. You may not be able to ask all the questions you want to ask, but this training, it is, it's one-on-one, so you can, easily ask the type of questions, you want to and concentrate. Well, we have 2 hours, 2 hours to tomorrow. Then for three weekends. So that is a lot of time. So please, let's maximize this opportunity. Then number 2 is that we should thoroughly go through and assimilate the contents of the training materials. Those training materials were sent to you, so please go through. When you go through before the training session, it will be a lot easier for you to catch up. Then be patient with the iteration process. What do we mean by iteration? That is step-by-step approach. You will notice that when you were, you registered for this webinar, you were sent video and also and so on. To install the software took a lot of process. Well, I'm happy that it stressed some of us, because this is the foundation, like I said. Now, if you took such a long, such time to be able to install the software, in your system, then you should take extra time to concentrate on the training. So please, let's not be in a hurry. I have, I jokingly said, when you were in the primary school, 1 + 1 is equal to 2. But when you get to secondary school, the thing changes. When you go for your master's and PhD, you find that for a particular problem, you have several solutions. It's not just one solution. So at our level, you are talking of no optimal solution. So even in software, usage of software, you find that there are several approaches. One particular thing, you have 2-3 methods of getting at it. So learn as many methods as you can and be patient. Be patient. This patience is very, very important. Go through what we are going through step by step. Then the last is that we should practice, and practice during and after this training. Some of us have been in this software business for over 20 years, but we are still there. So it's something that requires practice and practice and practice. Thank you very much for listening, and congratulations once more to the leadership of Waxing and the participants. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. So, Mr. Stanley, can we roll now?
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Permit me to stand by the existing protocol. My name is Nubisi Stanley John, and I want to use this medium to thank the leadership of Waxing and NIQS and also YQS for giving us the opportunity to organize this webinar in collaboration with Waxing. We start with, I'm going to share my screen now. We start with training focus. Today we'll be looking at the training objectives and learning outcomes. Secondly, we look at general overview of Eqs software. Third, auto takeoff for a simple building work. We want to start with a simple building work before we move to complex building work. And what do I mean by simple building work? Project that does not have a column basis. Then next we move to projects that have column basis, columns, and others. So under that, we look at the steps required to generate a BOQ using the software. Then under that, we also look at the data required from drawings and specifications. Then we look at the practical implementation. Then we also look at how the software automates taking off processes. The training objectives, number one, apply Eqs software to automate taking off processes. 2, use Eqs software for preparing BOQ for building works. 3, use Eqs software for material estimating. And the learning outcomes we intend to achieve after today's class is to understand how the software automates taking off processes and apply it for same purpose. Prepare BOQ for building works using Eqs software. We are not going to work on material schedule for today. That should be for another day. In using the software, it requires some steps, 5 major steps. And this was also sent to you to your email if you go through the training materials that we sent. The first step is to extract data from drawings and specifications. Using the software is similar to doing manual Takeoff. The difference is the software is faster and more accurate. And if you are doing manual Takeoff, let's say you are doing a column basis, for example, you know you need to read some data from the drawing, like the column base length, column base breadth, number of column base, and other. So it's the same approach. So there's a document I sent to the group chat this morning. It contains all the data that we need to extract from the drawing, which I also posted on the group chat. Then the second step is to input the data that you've extracted in the required text boxes or cells. Then the third is to save each page you work on. Then fourth is to click results. Then it will generate a BOQ and a BOQ for you in which you can save in Excel format. So now going back to the focus, we've looked at training objectives and learning outcomes. So I will take you through an overview of the EQS2 software now. When you open the software, it has three major parts. The top part has some icons, or you can also call them two panel. Then on the left side is the menu. We have 6 major categories. Then on the right side is the work section or the display section. On the left side, the first category is auto takeoff and BOQ. The second is material estimation. Third, Eqs calculators. Fourth, description library. Fifth, takeoff and abstracting. Then lastly, project materials. Each of these categories has sub-items in it. If you want to have access to any to the sub-items, you double-click on the item, or there's a plus sign beside each of them. If you click on the plus sign, it opens as you see now. And if you click on minus, it contracts. So when I double-click now, it also opens. So you can either double-click or you use the plus sign to have access to the content of each of the main categories. So auto takeoff and BOQ category has other items in it. And we have our basement, beam concrete, building takeoff, and others down to wall. Second, we have material estimation. To open the category, you double click. Then under this material estimation, we have different items of work there. We have work item for anti-termite, bedding and backing, block work, and other. If you want to use any of the form, you just click on it and it displays on the left part of the screen. As you can see, this is for anti-termite. The next is for bedding and backing, block work, ceiling, concrete. So anyone you want to work on, you just click on it and it displays the content of that form. And each of the forms under this material estimation.
Sorry, please. Sorry. Hello. Sorry. As you are explaining, you need to like make your screen go up, because we are not seeing what you are explaining actually. We are only seeing the key focus. So you need to like maybe scroll up so that what you're explaining will match what is showing on the screen. And also there is another gadget that is echoing at the back. There's another that's echoing at the back there. Thank you.
But can you see the software that I'm sharing?
We are not seeing it. What is on the screen is the key focus that you put initially.
Okay, what about now?
It's still the key focus.
Okay, let me close the key focus. What about now?
It's not showing.
It's showing my chairperson.
Okay. What about now?
Okay.
Okay now.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Okay, let me quickly brief through again. I explained that we have 6 major categories. The first is the auto takeoff. Okay, give me 1 minute. Let me reduce the volume of Dr. Sam's computer so that it will not echo. Okay, thank you very much for the observation. Please, if you notice anything, you can always call our attention to it. So I was explaining the content of the software. We have 6 major categories, and they are at the left part of the screen. The first is the auto takeoff and BOQ. Second is material estimation, Eqs calculator, description library, takeoff and abstracting, and project materials. If you want to have a view of what you have in each of the category, you double click the main category. As I did now, I just double clicked auto takeoff and BOQ, and I have access to the content or the sub items under the auto takeoff and BOQ category. Here we have beam, concrete basement, building takeoff, BOQ material schedule. We have bulk excavation and others. Then if you want to close the sub items, if you can see, I have a minus sign at the side of this category. If I click the minus sign, it will collapse what we have opened. The next category is material estimation. To open this category, you either double click or you click the plus sign that is beside the material estimation. So if I double click, I have access to the sub items under this main category. Here we have anti-termite, bedding and backing, block work, ceiling, and others. If you want to use any of the form, you just click on it and it will open on the right side of the screen. As I click now, we have anti-termite form. The next is bedding and backing, block work, and others. And all the forms under this material estimation category, they have similar content on the display part of the screen. The display part of the screen is divided into 2. We have the input section and the output or result section. The input section is made of text boxes, and each of the text box has a description on the heading, or you can also call it title. Each of the text box has title. When you go through what we have there, you see each of the text box also have units. So that will guide the users on the value to input and the unit at which the values should be. Then when you input the values, we have a button here that you click. This add button means calculate. So when you click the add button, the result will be displayed on the result section. So all the items under material estimation, they have similar forms. So we'll treat this in details later. The next category is Eqs calculators. This Eqs calculator has some forms that assist quantity surveyors in practice. Like we have normal arithmetic calculator, we have reinforcement unit or bar unit converter. This helps you. Here we have, this is called a drop down. When you click this drop down, it gives you access to the function that you want to perform. This, for example, allows you to convert reinforcement from one unit to another unit. We'll treat that later on. Then we also have other forms under the Eqs calculators. Then the next is description library. Under description library, we have different items here. We have building works, civil and external works, electrical works, and mechanical works. So when you click any of them, the main work will open on the right side of the screen. The next is the takeoff and abstracting category. This looks like a takeoff sheet. It mimics the traditional takeoff sheet. It has all the content that you get in a traditional takeoff sheet, like the description column, although the description here is given in a text box. Then we have the drop down that allows you to select the function of work you want to perform, whether it's enumerated or linear, square, or cubic, or others. Then we also have the time sync column, which we have here. We have the dimension column. Then the squaring is in the result sheet here. Then lastly, we have project materials. Project materials is similar to material estimation. The difference is under material estimation here, you use this when you want to treat when you want to generate material schedule for for a particular item of work. Let's say you are interested in only block work, or you're interested in only concrete, or you're interested in just plastering or painting. You use this category. But if you want to do it in group, let's say you want to do material schedule for complete project, you use this project material here. And here, under this, we have two sub items. We have the building project and fence project. If you click building project, for example, it opens and it allows the users to input quantities from their already existing bill of quantity. Here we have the first page is a blank bill that allows the users to input values from their BOQ. Then they set the specifications which they want for that project. Then at the end, they have a material schedule generated. You do all this without doing any calculations. Let me quickly go back to the training focus. Okay, can you see the training focus now? Okay, back to the training focus. We'll look at the data that you need to extract from drawing if you want to use the software for auto takeoff and BOQ. And like I said earlier, it has steps. The first step is extraction of data, and this is where the user will go through the drawing, and you either use other software like PlanSwift to extract some data and you write them out, or you can do that manually. So when you input those data in the software, it generates result and BOQ for you. The data that you need are in two groups. The first group is group A. I'm making reference to today's training focus, which is taking off for a simple building. We are focusing on substructure. So if you're working with the software and you're working on simple building substructure, you need two groups of data. Group A are data that needs to be measured from the drawing, such as site area, ground floor perimeter, trench guards, and foundation wall guards. Then the group B are data that you can read directly from the drawings and specifications, such as topsoil depth, oversight slab thickness, laterite filling, rock filling thickness, foundation wall thickness, foundation wall height, trench width, trench depth, trench blinding thickness, trench footing thickness, substructure plaster height, and then number of works. Number of work is also means number of projects. So for the projects that the drawing that we use today, in practice, it's a community library project. Let me open the floor plan. I already sent it to the group, and I said that you should print it before the training day so that you can follow up. But let me share it so that everybody can also see. So this is the floor plan for today for the project, community library. And we also have here the section, and we have the foundation plan here, which gives you details of the foundation. So the data that we need to extract from this drawing, if you want to use the software, these are the required data. Like I said earlier on, the group A data, which are these site area, ground floor area, trench guards, ground floor perimeter, and the foundation wall guard. Because of time, I've already done this. So the site area for the project we are working on, which is this, is 544 square meter. The ground floor area is 160 square meter. The ground floor perimeter is 73.3 meters. It's supposed to be meter. It's a mix-up. Then the trench guard is 113.3 meters. Foundation wall guard is also 113.3 meters. Then the group B data, like I said earlier on, does not need measurements. There are data that you can read directly from the drawing or specifications, like the topsoil depth, the oversight slab thickness, the laterite filling, rock filling thickness, foundation wall thickness, and others. So these have been done, and I sent it to the group this morning. So the next step is to input this data now in the software and see how it will generate a material schedule. Also, it will generate the BOQ for us. So I'll switch to the software now. So the category we'll be working with today is the auto takeoff and BOQ category, because we are working on taking off for community library project substructure. So to use that, you double click on auto takeoff and BOQ, and this opens. We have a lot of items here, but what we are interested in now is the third item on the list, which is building takeoff. So you click to open the form. The difference between this third item and others is it captures a lot of items under building. For example, you have site and trench details, you have column-based details, you have ground beam details. From substructure to superstructure, they are all captured under this third items. Why the other ones here, they are some items that you use if you are interested in only column base. For example, you use the column base form here. But if you are interested in both trench, column base, and others, you use this third item, which is building takeoff and BOQ. So to display both forms now, I believe you already have the data that I extracted, because I said I gave an instruction on the group, on the WhatsApp group, that you should write these values out so that you can follow up. But I will advise that you watch me as I'm doing it. Then after I'm done, you can practice later. So, but just pay attention so that you will understand what we are doing. So what we want to do now is just to enter this data into the software. When we enter the data into the software, it will generate about 21 results for us. Let me quickly show you how this is done. We need to reduce the width of this. You can reduce the width of the menu part. When you hover your cursor on this demarcating line, it will show you a sign. You can click and drag to the right. So, but you don't need to do this if you have the values. If you have them written on paper, you don't need to reduce the width of the screen. Okay, now we start with the first item. The Takeoff and BOQ form, it has tabs. The tabs are what you see at the top here. The first tab is the site and trench details. The second tab is the column-based details. Then the third tab is ground beam details. If you want to move to other tabs, there is a scroller down at the base of your screen. If you scroll down, you see this horizontal scroller. If you drag it, it will give you access to other items. So when you scroll up, you also see these two arrows here, one pointing left and another pointing right. If you click this one pointing right, it opens some other tabs that we have. As you can see, we have tabs for wall, staircase, and other, but we are only focused on substructure for now. So when you click to the end, you see results and BOQ. So all these things at the top, they are called tabs. Then this is a save button. This is a import page button. Then this is the input session. The screen is also divided into two. We have the input and output section. The input section has titles. Each of the column has title, and it has cells beneath it where you input the value. So when you read the title or at the top of each column, it guides you and tells you what to input. As you can see here, it's requesting for site area, and the unit is also provided. So you take note of the unit. If a unit is in square meters, it must be, the value entered must be in square meter. If a unit is in meter, the value entered must be in meter. So here we have different columns here. The first is the site area and others. So all these columns, they are called the input section. Then we have the output section. The output section is where you start seeing zeros. This is the output section. So the values that the user inputs from here is what the software uses to generate result or output here. It requests for a lot of data because we did not want an instances where assumptions will be made. So it is left for the user to input what he or she wants as regarding the project they are working on. So we start with the input section. So here we start with description. Description, we put substructure there. Then to go to the next cell, you can use the right key on your keyboard, or you can just hit tab. When you hit tab, it will go to the next cell, or you can use your cursor to navigate. So the next is where you input site area. Site area, as we have here, is 544 square meters. And we are working on row 1. There's a provision for other rows. If you want to, let's say you have 2 or more projects that you want to generate the results together, then you can provide details for project 1 in row 1 and details for project 2 in row 2 in this instance, but it's just a single project. So we'll be working on row 1. So the next is site area, which is 544 square meter. The next is ground floor slab perimeter. And the ground floor slab perimeter from the data we measure is 73.3 meter. It's supposed to be meter, not square meter, 73.3 meters. So the next is ground floor area. The ground floor area, as we have here, is 160 square meters. So you just type that. So the next is topsoil depth. The topsoil depth falls under group B data, which does not need a measurement. It's just value you can read from the drawing or specification. And you have here is 0.15. Then the next is the oversight slab thickness, which is also part of the group B data, and it's 0.15 meters. The next is laterite filling thickness. It's also part of the group B data, and we have it here as 0.3 meters. So the next is rock filling thickness, which we have it here as 0.15 meter. It's also part of the group B data. If you check the foundation section, you will see all that there. So I just typed that 0.15. Then the next is trench gut. Trench gut and wall gut. This is referring to foundation wall gut. You know, foundation wall gut can be different from the wall gut in ground floor, because the details, the arrangement of the block wall in the foundation is possible is different from what you have at the superstructural level. So if the project does not have column bases, as we have in this case here, in most cases the trench gut and wall gut, they are the same. It's only project that has column bases that the trench gut is usually different from the wall gut. In that case, the wall gut will be more than the trench gut. When we are working on a project that has a column basis, okay, sorry for the break in connection. So I stopped at trench gut. I was explaining that in a project that does not have a column basis, the trench gut and wall gut, they are the same. If there will be difference will be minimal or negligible. So here we have the same value for foundation wall gut and trench gut. So we put the same value here, 113.3 meters. Then the next is foundation wall thickness. This also falls under group B data, which is given here as 0.23 meters. Then the next is foundation wall height. This is from the foundation detail, and we have that data here as 0.52 meters. Then the next is the trench width. Trench width is also group B data, which you read from the drawing, 0.69. Then we have trench excavation depth. Trench excavation depth is also given here as 0.75. Then the next is blinding thickness. For this project, it's just a community library project. It does not have column basis, so there is no blinding there. We only have trench footing. So the blinding, we put 0 there. The next is the trench footing. Trench footing is also a group B data. You read from the drawing is 0.23 meters. Then the next is bulk excavation area. You see it's captioned there as optional. You need this for where you have a bulk excavation. You know, in that case, you don't need a trench guards and all that. So you, for this project, we don't have we are not doing bulk excavation here. So you put 0 in this bulk excavation area, which is captioned optional, and also the bulk excavation area guard, you also put 0 at that point. Then the next is the substructure plaster height. You know, we also do plastering in substructure. So the thickness here is the height, the substructure plaster height here is 0.3 meters. Then the last is number of work. Number of work also means number of projects. So it's just a single project. Whenever you see number of work, it means number of projects. You just put 1 if it is for a single project. Then when you put 1, you click outside, or you use your forward key or the right key on your navigation bar on your keyboard. Then it gives you the results. Here we have 21 results or quantities generated from the values that we have imputed. Here we have a result for site clearance, which is 544. Then next we have result for topsoil excavation area, which is 160 square meter. The next we have result for trench excavation volume, which is 5.84 cubic meter. We have a result for disposal of topsoil. We have a result for disposal of surplus material. Then we have a result for leveling and compacting, which is in square meter. If you want to check the units, some column may not show the unit, so you can expand. So since I'm not using this again, let me expand the maximize the page. So yeah, I was saying you can adjust the width of any of these by hovering your cursor, just like you do in Excel. You just drag and it shows you the unit there. We have value for leveling and compacting. The next is for earthwork support, which is 16.95 square meters. We have for anti-termite, which is 24.74 square meters. Then we have for backfilling. We have for laterite filling, rock filling. We have for trench blinding is showing 0 because we did not provide a thickness for trench blinding. If you go back, you note that the trench blinding thickness Okay, yes, here the trench blinding thickness, we put 0 there. So the next is we have a result for oversight concrete thickness, oversight concrete volume, which is 24 cubic meter, trench footing volume, 17.9 cubic meter, form up to edges of ground floor slab, 73.3 meters, then mesh reinforcement in ground floor slab, 160 square meters. We have a trench block wall, 58.9 square meters. Then we have a damp-proof membrane and damp-proof course. But the two is just there, but you don't need a damp-proof course where you have a damp-proof membrane. You know, damp-proof course is different from the oversight slab work. The most laymen on site, they call the oversight slab concrete as DPC, but DPC is just a layer that you put on the block wall in foundation to prevent moisture penetration from the foundation. But where you have damp-proof membrane, which can cover the entire ground floor slab, you do not need it. But both are just there for the users to choose. So the next we have substructure plastering area, which is 21.9 square meter, and we have same for painting. So you see, with little stress, we are able to finish the taking off for the substructure for this library project. The next thing we do is to save this page. I explained the method of saving the page earlier on. First, you need to create a folder on your desktop. It's explained in the training manuals, which we sent to your emails and on the WhatsApp group. So let me share the screen to show you how to create a folder. So this is my home screen. You create a main folder which you will be saving your subsequent project in it. You right click, you see new, you click new, then a folder comes up. You give it a title as a EQS project, EQS2 project. Then inside this folder, you open it and create subfolders for each project you are working on. Today we are working on a community library. So when you right click inside this, you create a new folder and you give it you name it with the title of the project, which is community library. So it is inside this community library now that we save the page that we just worked on. So let me show you how to save the page inside this folder that we just created. So to save the page is, you see this save button. You click save page button. And when you do this, it takes you to another window. Here you have different locations you can save it to, but you need to navigate to your desktop. You can see my cursor is pointing at the desktop, which is located at the left side of the screen. You click desktop. Then when you click desktop, it opens all the folders on your computer desktop screen. So you locate the folder which we just created, which is EQS2 project. You double click it. You see now I only have one subfolder in it, which is community library. Then you double click this and you see file name here. You save the page inside here. In saving the page, you give it a file name that is same as the tab title. The tab we worked on recently is site and trench details. Then after that, you click save. The purpose of saving is when you close the application, you can bring back what you have saved on an earlier date. You can also bring them back to make corrections. Maybe you make a mistake. It's also a form of a repository where it saves the details of the values that you use to generate your bill of quantities. If the cursor is still showing this small circle that is blue, that means it's still processing. Then you have to be patient till it finish saving. If it's still showing this, that means it's still saving. Then after we are done with the saving, I'll show you how you can navigate to the result and the BOQ section. Like I said earlier on, we have steps. The first step is to extract the data, which we have already done. The second step is to input the data in the software, and we have imputed the data. Then the next step now is to go to results. To do that, you can see these two arrows at the top right angle here. So when you keep clicking, it gives you access to the other tabs. So when you get to the end, you see results. So when you click results, it opens the result page. The reason of clicking result is to load all the forms that you've worked on, because when you're working on a big project, you work on more than one page. You can work on several pages. So result loads all the pages. And in this result part, you select whether you need a earthwork support or not in the project by clicking this drop down. This is called a drop down. So when you click, if you need earthwork support, you click provided. If you don't need it, you click not provided. Then after that, you click elemental or trade BOQ. It gives you access to two types of BOQ. So yeah, when you click that, you see a BOQ generated with the quantities. The first we have here is the quantity for site clearance. Second is for topsoil. Then third is for trench excavation. Then we have for pit excavation is 0 because the project does not have a column basis. Then the next is earthwork support because we selected earthwork support provided. That's why we have a value here. Some project does not need earthwork support, so in that case you choose not provided. So the next is topsoil. Then we have disposal of surplus material. We have leveling and compacting, anti-termite, backfilling. We have laterite filling. We have rock filling. We have damp-proof membrane. Blinding is 0 because we did not specify the thickness of blinding. The project does not have blinding. Then the next is the volume of trench footing. Then the next is a volume of oversight slab concrete. Most of these values here that are showing 0 is because the scope of the project does not cover all this. If it has all this, you have values in all the fields. The next is formwork. Under formwork, we have only formwork to edges of ground floor slab. Then reinforcement is the next. We don't have reinforcement in column basis. Tomorrow we work on projects that have a column base. So all these areas will be populated with the required data. The next is mesh reinforcement. It gives you the area for that. The next is area of block wall. Now we are under foundation block wall. So the area of block wall is given 58.9 square meters. Then we also have a damp-proof course. Like I said earlier on, damp-proof course is not what they call it on-site German floor, but I think it's a misuse of term. Damp-proof course is a thin layer on top of foundation block wall. Then here we have finishes. We have plastering to the external faces of foundation block wall, the ones that project above the ground level. Then lastly, we have painting. This is the end for the substructure. If you scroll down, we have for frames, but the training focus is on substructure. So as you can see, without doing much calculations, we were able to generate a bill of quantity for the community library project. By just inputting those data, the software has automated a lot of functions here. It has automated all the results, and it works with what the user fits it. It does not give room for assumption. It's not like hard-coded software that you have some parameters that you cannot change. All the parameters is made available, is adjustable. The user can determine or decide what they want. So now I'm going to close the application and open it again to show you how you can import a saved data. But before that, I will save this BOQ by clicking Save BOQ button. So when you click that, it takes you to the last folder that you saved a project in. Anytime you are saving, just look at the path, the file path. This is called file path. So you look at the file path at the top here. If it shows you the folder that you are supposed to save it in, then you just go ahead and type the file name. But if it's showing you another folder, then you need to navigate through your desktop and select the appropriate folder to save the document in. So here we are saving it as a BOQ substructure. Then after that, you click Save. So the page has successfully saved. So I'll open it now as an Excel file. So you can make any adjustment in the description. You can input rate. If you input rate here, for example, it gives you the amount directly. But you can also do that on the Excel file. So let me open the folder again and show you how it will be on Excel. Okay, this is the folder on the home screen, which we created earlier on. If you open this folder, this is the community library folder, which we created. Then you open it, we have two files here. The site and trench, which is the takeoff details. Then second is the BOQ. You don't need to open this site and trench details. You only need it when you want to. You can only read the data when you import it back to the software. So if I open this BOQ substructure now, we have the file in an Excel format. So you can either copy the values there and use in your own BOQ template that you already have, or you can just edit what you have here and print. So now it's opening as an Excel file. So we have it as an Excel file now. So I believe everybody know how to work with Excel. You can make any corrections or any adjustment in the descriptions here to suit the project you are working on, and you can delete the items that are not in the project, like the column-based quantities, like excavation for pits and other details like blinding and others. Any part of the view that you don't need, you can delete. So next, I'll show you how to open the software to bring back a file that you have saved earlier on. If I should close this application now, and I open it again from the desktop, open by double clicking. Then let's say I want to revisit what I did earlier on, or I want to continue from where I stopped. Let's say you made a mistake in any of the data that you extracted from the drawing. You can click this, which is the auto takeoff category. Then remember, we are working with the third item, which is building takeoff and BOQ. You click that to open the page. Then when the page is open, we only worked on this site and trench details page. We did not work on column base and other pages because of the scope of the project. So we only worked on this page, and we saved the page earlier on. Now I want to import the page back by clicking this import button. The import button is right beside the save page button. So when you click the import button, it brings up this window. In some cases, remember I said you should always check the file path. This is called file path. When you check it, if it suits what you are working on, you continue and just select the file and click open, or you double click here. It has imported the page that we saved earlier on. So now you can make any correction. Let's say you made a mistake anywhere, you can make the correction and navigate to the results. So yeah, now let me make a very little change in the ground floor area. Let's say the ground floor area is 175 square meters, and let's say I made a mistake and I put 11.3. So if you take notes, I said earlier on that the wall guard and trench guard, they can be the same for, but you say I made a mistake. It's very important to go through the values that you imputed before you navigate to the BOQ. So now I'm going to correct this by typing 113.3. So when you make the changes, you need to save the page again by clicking save page. You have two options here. You can use it to replace the existing page by clicking this and click save. Then when it brings this this window which says site and trend details already exist, do you want to replace it? You can replace by clicking yes, or you can give it a different name if you wish. So now I have replaced that former page. And how did I know that I made a mistake? If you check the BOQ that we had initially, you will notice that the backfilling is giving you a negative value. if you can see here, the backfilling is showing you minus 9.4. You know, backfilling is the total excavated material minus the total fill material. So, and the total excavated material is the trench girth times the trench width times the trench depth. So where I used 11.33, which is very small, that's why we have a negative value. You see now that the next one that we do, which is the corrected one, it will not have a negative value. So I'll go through it again and you see. So if I scroll to the backfilling, you see now the backfilling we have here is 27.1. And now let's navigate to the result and BOQ. If you want to navigate to the result and BOQ, you have this scroller at the base of your screen. You drag it to the right. When you drag it, you can minimize. You can minimize this panel that is showing at the right side of the Zoom webinar. Now you can minimize it so that you can see the full screen that I'm sharing. Or you can make reference to the training material I sent out. I just want to show you how you can navigate to the BOQ and to the result. So when you drag this cursor to the right end, that's when you can see these two arrows. You click the one pointing to the right. You keep clicking it till the end. Then you can see results. You click results. So when you click results, in this case now, let's choose network support not provided. Let's see the difference. Then after that, you click elemental BOQ. So now you see we have network support in this case is 0 because I selected not provided there. We have the same values, but the backfilling in this case is 27.1. So I'm going to save this BOQ again. So I have two options. I can either save, giving it a new name, or I can replace the existing one. Let me save it as BOQ updated. But if you wish, you can replace the existing one. So this BOQ has been saved now. So if we should open it, if we go back to the file, open this, and see we have two BOQ now. I can open this BOQ updated to show the new BOQ. This BOQ now has backfilling volume. So let me open the second one. Sorry, the first one, which is the first one I did, that is showing negative backfilling volume. The reason is because I used 11.3 as the trench girth there. So that's how you can vet your work and make reference back to the data, the raw data that yielded all these results. And wherever you see any error, you can make an adjustment. But before you can know what to work on, and before you can know how to manipulate or work with the system, you need to understand how the software really operates. Because if you check our learning outcome, our learning outcome also includes understanding how the software automates taking off processes. All the results here, the results from the BOQ, they come up from automation. So now you need to understand how the software does this automation. So that's the next thing we are going to look at now. Remember, these are the raw data which we imputed into the software, the group A data and group B data. Those data now generated this result. So we have values generated in output section and BOQ. So the first is we have result or output for site clearance, topsoil excavation, trench excavation, disposal, and disposal of topsoil and disposal of surplus material. The software also gives you results for surface treatment, under which we have leveling and compacting, earthwork support, anti-termite. And under concrete, the software gives you results for trench blinding volume, oversight concrete volume, trench footing volume, and under filling, it gives you results for backfilling, laterite filling, rock hardcore filling. Then under reinforcement, it gives you only for mesh reinforcement. Like I said earlier on, is because of the scope of the project. When we move to a much more bigger project, we will have more results in the reinforcement aspect. We have results for reinforcement in columns, reinforcement in column base, even reinforcement in ground beams and others. Then, yeah, it gives you results for formwork in edges of ground floor slab. And under block work, the software gives you results for trench block work. Then under waterproofing, it gives you results for damp-proof membrane. It gives for damp-proof course, substructure, plastering, and painting. I know that if you are to be doing all this manually using this data, it's going to take it's not, I know it's not difficult, but it's just the time that it will take. And this one is faster. So now you need to understand how the software generates all these results by working with this data that we provided, the group A and group B data. So that's the next thing we look at, how the software automates taking off processes. For site preparation and earthworks, the first is site clearance. How does the software automate site clearance to give you site clearance area is it just takes the site area value which the user has provided. Then for topsoil excavation, the software just uses the site area. So you need to understand how the software automates the taking off processes so that you can, it will even help you to decide whether you have confidence in what you purchase or not. And you can cross-check this with the values generated in the BOQ. So the next is how the software automates automates the taking off process to give you results for trench excavation volume. It takes the trench gap which you have provided. Trench gap is a group A data. Remember, we have that here, group A data, trench gap. Then it multiplies it by the trench width which you have provided. Then multiplies by the trench excavation depth, which is group B data, which you have provided. Then for disposal of topsoil, how the software automates to give you disposal of topsoil volume. It multiplies the site area which you provided by the thickness of topsoil which you also provided. Thickness of topsoil is a group B data. Then under disposal, how the software automates the taking off process to give you volume of surplus material to be disposed. Remember earlier on we had a negative value because we made a mistake. Here the formula the software uses is it takes total trench excavation volume minus total ground concrete volume plus block wall volume. And what do we mean by total ground concrete volume? Total ground concrete volume is blinding volume plus trench footing volume. Then what do we mean by block wall volume? Block wall volume is equals to block wall girth times block wall thickness times block wall height. So that's what we have here. Then how the software automates taking off processes for quantities under surface treatment. First, we have leveling and compacting. The software multiplies the trench gaps which you provided by the trench width to give you this. Then for earthwork support, the software multiplies the trench gaps which you provided by the trench width. Then for the anti-termite, the software adds leveling and compacting area plus earthwork support area. Then how the software automates taking off processes for items of work under concrete. The first, for what we did today, is the trench blinding. The software multiplies trench gaps by trench width by trench blinding thickness. Fortunately, we didn't provide trench blinding thickness. You know, if you multiply anything by 0, you get 0. That's why we have 0 as the trench blinding volume in the BOQ and in the results, because we have trench gaps, we have trench width, but the trench blinding thickness was 0. Then the next is oversight concrete. The oversight concrete volume, the software multiplies the ground floor area by the oversight slab thickness. Then the next is the trench footing volume. The software multiplies the trench gaps by the trench width by the foundation footing thickness. Then the next is how it automates taking off processes for fillings. Under fillings, we have backfilling, laterite filling, and rock hardcore filling. For backfilling, it takes trench excavation volume minus disposal of surplus material. That is for backfilling. Remember, disposal of surplus material is treated, was explained under number 5 here. So the software takes the, you know, as you are entering the data, it is running a lot of complex calculations and saving. So we have laterite filling and for rock filling. For laterite filling, the software takes the fill area times laterite filling thickness, and fill area is ground floor area minus block wall surface area. And what is block wall surface area? Block wall surface area is equals to the block wall gap times block wall thickness. This fill area is also called compartment area. You know, you don't fill on top of the block wall when you are doing laterite filling. You only fill inside the compartment. And how it was able to get that fill area is by multiplying the block wall area by the thickness and deduct that from the total ground floor area, gives you the fill area. So these are the calculations that the software runs to give you, to generate the BOQ that we have. Then for rock filling, it multiplies fill area as before described by the rock filling thickness. Then for reinforcement, it just takes the value of the ground floor area. Then for form up to a of ground floor slab, it just takes the value for ground floor perimeter. Then for block work, it multiplies the foundation wall gap, which is a group A data, by the foundation wall height, which is a group B data. Then for waterproofing, for damp-proof membrane, it takes the area that you provided for ground floor area. Then for damp-proof cost, it takes the wall gap, which you provided, foundation wall gap. Then substructure plaster height. Substructure plaster height is, for this project, is done just on the externals. So it takes the ground floor perimeter by and multiplies by the block wall height, and same is applied for painting. So I believe with this, you will understand how the software automates taking off process, which is the learning outcome number 1. Then number 2 is prepare BOQ, which we have done for substructure using the EQS2 software. Once more, thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for your time, and thank you to Waxing, thank you to NIQS, and YQS also. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stanley. I'll just run through some questions now. So I think we still have like 15 minutes. So I'll read the ones that seems to be similar. And well, somebody said that I observed that the quantities are inputted manually. Can't we have it taken automatically from the drawing? And I think there are some other people too that have asked that same question.
Okay, the data that I said we need to extract from the drawing, the ones that you...
Hello?
Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay. The data that needs to be extracted from the drawing, you can take it, you can measure them manually, or you can use an on-screen measurement software to do that. But like I explained earlier on, the group A data is just what you need another on-screen measurement software to extract, like the site area, ground floor area, trench guard, and wall guard. But the other data, you don't need any software to do that. You can just read them directly from the drawing. But in response to the question, they have other software that allows you to measure the group A data directly from PDF or AutoCAD and file. Like PlanSwift, for example, can do that.
Hello.
Is there? I believe that answers that question. Any another question?
They just want to know if we can, if it has to be manual extraction of the data. So that one is
yes.
It's for that. Okay. So they say, is there a link where you can access your quantities, click, and they are then transferred to the measured page automatically, which I think has been done. You showed us a bill of quantities that you raised up from the data. So okay. Somebody was asking if was asking if the bill generated is in conformity with BSMM 4 because
yes, it is.
That's
yes,
is it in conformity with, because there is no code there, the BSMM code. Miriam.
Okay, for the BSMM 4 coding, we did not make provision for the coding, but the user can input the coding themselves, and we are working on an update that's going to carry all the coding for all the works done. So when this update is ready, we'll send it to everybody and they can update.
Okay, we'll appreciate that. Then somebody is asking that what of pad foundation is trench followed by columns under the substructure description? If it's a pad foundation,
yes,
where does the column comes in?
Tomorrow we'll work on that.
Okay. Then they are asking that is there a way we can format description to suit our own use? Using this application,
yes,
can we use description to suit whatever situation that we are handling?
Exactly, you can. The BOQ is editable. You can edit the description.
Even the rate, I guess. But somebody is asking if the rate too can be updated, then you can use it over and over again.
The users we need to input the rate because rates are not constant. It's changes depending on location and current market conditions.
Okay, we are having feedback when you are talking, so we are not hearing you properly. Also, Alex wants to know that since we generate preliminary items as a separate item from substructure, how is it captured by this software? Secondly, is where is the place of contingency or provisional sum in this project? That is, where can we input? Are we going to put the provisional sum by ourselves or contingency? At the end of everything, we have to input it manually ourselves.
Yes, you do that. The software does not have provision for those values for contingency and that. We focus on the tedious and tasking aspect, which is the squaring and generating quantities. So the result, the final result that you get, you can transfer the quantities to your own template. You have the template. And
so what you are saying is that we can customize our build to look the way we want it. Font, border, size, we can customize it. Okay, then somebody wants to know, do we have to always import our previous Excel work? Do we have to always go back to import it?
No. The reason why I do that is maybe if you are working and your system goes off. So if you did not save page, we lose the data that you worked on. But if you have saved it, you can bring them back. The purpose of saving and importing is just to continue work on the project. But just want to work on the project.
Please, can you help us work on your audio? It's feeding back. Also, don't you want to know the notes? Don't you buy me? The notes is on the training platform, the WhatsApp platform. The notes are there. Then, like he said, we can always customize our build to whatever. If you want to shift column for quantity to the front before the units, anyhow you want, you can always customize it. Okay. Yes, we already said we are going to send the video recording after the training. Okay, let me see. The foundation wall heights are not 100% buried. Okay, Eqs can link to those online platforms. Somebody wants to know which software you said can measure automatically. Kindly recommend. You said there's some software that can.
Yes, like Plastering can help you extract those data that those data I was making.
We are not hearing you. Even me, I didn't hear what you just said, though. The echo and everything is too much there, so we didn't hear what you just said now.
What about now? Can you hear me?
The echo is still there.
Wow. What about now?
Okay, better. So which software can you recommend, the one that can measure automatically?
It's Plastering is very good to extract those group A data I made mention of, which is site area, ground floor area, trench guard, and wall guards. With Plastering, you can measure those data from the drawing. Yes, Plastering.
Okay, so Plastering is recommended for use for automatical lifting of the data. Then do we have to like renew this software periodically? Or we have it,
No,
and
ma'am.
that is it?
Yes, you have it and you have it. And if we have an update, we already have your emails. And thank God you went through the installation process. You by yourself now you can do installation of a new update. Like for the BSMM4 coding, which we are working on. It will be sent to your email when it's ready, so you can download and make a reinstallation.
Please, all the notes and the all the things he shared when we started is on the chat, is on the WhatsApp platform. But people keep asking if they can have the notes. And he has sent this since yesterday and told us to download or print it out for our use. So please check the WhatsApp group for that. They say, can you organize a training with the Plan Swift software too? Somebody wants to know that.
Yes, we can do that.
The person will get your detail.
Normally, we have three. We do training for QMate Plus, which is developed by Dr. Sam Ofide for building up of rate and estimating. We also do training for EQS2 and also for Plan Swift software.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello. No, like
We
I
can
said
hear you,
earlier,
sir.
yeah, one software cannot do everything. Now we have told you what EQS2 can do. Let's concentrate on this training. Yes, Plan Swift, is there. Yes, QMate Plus is there. Yes, Cost S is there. There are several, softwares. Let's just concentrate on this, the training we are undertaking. And like I said during my opening, my introduction, this thing is a step-by-step approach, and this is just the foundation. Let's concentrate on it. By the time we do the second leg of the training, that is superstructure, you learn more. Then at the appropriate time, those who want training on Plan Swift, you get to know about it. I put on the challenge there that to the leadership of WASCON, let it not end here. Maybe if we have time before the end of this training, we have Plan Swift on the system. We'll just give you, a demonstration to show you what this Plan Swift can do. Then the issue of what do you call it, BSMN for coding, it's not NIQS. I'm sorry to say, but NIQS has been involved, in this thing for almost 3 or 4 years now. It's not easy. So to bring, if we have to develop that software, then we have to integrate it into, EQS2. By the time we integrate it, the software will be more than 100,000. That is the reality, because the work involved is so much. So let's concentrate on what we are doing now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. The presentation document is, somebody is saying is not there. Stanley, the presentation, the notes is on the WhatsApp.
I will send it.
You will send it there, okay. You will send it there.
No, but we sent the data extraction.
Okay. So whatever
okay, I will send the presentation also later.
The presentation notes, yes, thank you. And I believe this software, because somebody is asking if you can do a 28-story building, it's just the basic thing you need. As long as you have the basic, you can always use it for any other thing, renovation works. I guess I'm speaking your mind, Stanley.
Yes,
so
you can.
Okay. So I think that's just about it. Okay, sir.
Hello. One beautiful thing about this software is like this automation we are talking about. It reduces, carrying load, of drawings. With the software, you can compress everything into the software, so then work anywhere, even when you're on the aircraft. because the thing is on your system, you can use it. So it doesn't matter whether it is 200-story building, so long as the drawings have been prepared, whether PDF or whatever, and they are installed, in the software, you can generate, the quantities, and whatever you want.
Thank you so very much. I believe that we've all gained something this morning, and we are going to practice. I think that's just the bane of this training. We need to practice, practice, and practice, which is very, very important. We've already downloaded the software, so let's bring out whatever small drawing we have and try to do it so that by tomorrow, if you run into any challenge, it will be easy to ask questions and they will be able to help us. And for like an hour after this training, the WhatsApp platform will be open just in case you have anything that you want to. After an hour, the platform will be closed back. If you have any personal issue, please get across to Stanley. So thank you very much, Doctor and Stanley. God bless you. And we'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. by God's grace. Thank you very much, everybody. And God bless also.
Thank you.
Thank you.